Hello, everyone. This is Daniel Holland. Welcome to this little training that we've put together for you. Really appreciate you being here, and I gotta say, pretty doggone excited about my guest today, and that is Penny Sansevieri. And the reason why I'm so excited about bringing Penny on to teach you is, number one, she is a book marketer extraordinaire, okay? She has been behind some of the biggest book launches and some of the most successful authors out there, and she knows a thing or two. In fact, I would say she knows more than I do, probably a lot more than I do, specifically on book marketing, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring her on to chat and to train you, because as you well know, I am really, really focused on you having the slight edge, because there's a lot of noise out in the world. There's a lot of books being published, and I want your stuff to rise to the surface, to get the attention it deserves, and to get you making the money you deserve in your business as well. So that's one of the reasons why when I find really, really knowledgeable people that are willing to come on and teach, like Penny, I I snatch them up really, really quick. So a bit of background on Penny. First off, as I said, she is a book marketer extraordinaire, but more than that, she is an author herself, a best-selling author herself, and she's also a adjunct professor at NYU and a frequent blogger on the Huffington Post, and just a very, very smart lady, very sophisticated, very savvy, marketing-wise lady. So I'm just really, really, I'm beside myself with excitement to have you on, Penny. Thank you so much for being here and taking the time to help my folks.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm really excited, and I have admired your work for a long time, so I'm really, really stoked to be here.
Well, cool. So, Penny, let me give folks here a bit of background. I've known about Penny and her great work for a long time, but I just had the opportunity to meet up with her at a conference that we were both speaking at, Judith Bryle's event, the Author U Extravaganza in Denver, and I sat in on Penny's presentation, and she did a deep dive into how to go about selling truckloads of books on Amazon. And frankly, Penny, I like the sound of that, okay? And I was just sitting there in awe on her presentation. I'm thinking to myself, I have got to get Penny on. I've got to get Penny on, because she really, really knows so much about, particularly about the whole Amazon game. And as you and I both know, at least I hope you know, the majority of books probably in the world are sold on Amazon.com. So if you could master that game, well, that's going some. That's saying quite a bit. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted Penny to come on. So Penny, just give folks a bit of background about where you got into this business, and then we'll jump into the actual training and the interviews, if that's cool with you.
Absolutely. So I've been doing this. I've had the business for 14 years, and I started just as a consultant, and now have obviously for the last 13 years have morphed into this bigger company. And so we work with authors and publishers to market their book, but behind that, and this is where this training is coming in today, I do a lot of research about what's working and what's not, because, and you know this, given the world that you live in, things change all the time. And if you're not on top of it, you're just, your books and your success and everything reflects that.
Absolutely, and one of the things that I really want to the extent we possibly can in this very sort of compact time, Penny, can we talk about some of those techniques, some of those strategies that you talked about in Denver on with regard to keyword research and your how to go about essentially juicing your Amazon listings? I'd really like to hear that and so give if you would give folks some specific strategies on what they could do with their Amazon listings.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with their work on Amazon.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing. Amazon is its own search engine, much like Google. So when you think about getting more traffic to your website, you think about things like updating your blog, being active in social media, and the keywords that you put on the homepage and anywhere else on the website. Amazon works very much the same way. You can add up to 7 keyword strings to your Amazon page, meaning to the back-end page of Amazon. And I find that when I look at 10 accounts, 9 of those either don't have keywords or just have really generic words, right? So if you have a business book, somebody plugs in the word business as a keyword. That's not a keyword. Nobody's going to go onto Amazon and just look up the word business. So you want to think about the search strings, and for those of you who know your keywords, you may already know them from your website, but putting in search strings into your Amazon keyword, the back end, is very, very crucial to search. And again, keep in mind, keyword strings, not just business, internet marketing. You want to be really, really focused. Then you can also take those keywords and you can put them into the title or the subtitle of the book, or also potentially into the book description, right? So 7 keyword strings, plug them in as many different places as you can, and you're also going to want to sort of test them. So you want to see, how well are they doing for you? Keep an Excel spreadsheet, keep track of it, because it's all sort of the metric of how to work the Amazon system. And we all want to get into the promised land of Amazon, right? Where Amazon is recommending books. And if you have a Kindle e-reader and you get to the last page of that book, there's a bar along the bottom that has books, oh, you may also like. That's really where you want to be. And the more that you trigger the Amazon algorithms and the more that you trigger the sales, the more Amazon kind of steps up and says, this book is doing well, let's give it an extra boost. And that extra boost could be book recommendation, it could be an email that's sent out to readers who have, requested books of that topic, and it could be also, as I mentioned, in that Kindle e-reader. So keywords is probably one of the first and most important ways to start working and massaging your book on Amazon, giving it an extra push.
Okay, so that's really easy to say, and I get that, but can you give folks a clue as to what 7 keywords they should use, and how should they go about finding those keywords?
Well, so that's a great question. The keywords. So the first thing you want to do is you want to know ideally what you want to rank for. Okay, so let's use an example of how to sell books by the truckload. When I was trying to decide how to use the keywords in that book and also how to title it, I thought, well, okay, what are people searching for on Amazon? So I plugged in the search term sell books because I thought, it'll take me somewhere. And when you plug in the search term on Amazon, it drops down sort of like the intuitive searches on Google. It drops down a list of suggestions. And once you have your keyword, and let's say your keyword is, building a business, or whatever your topic is, or memoir, whatever, you plug that keyword into Amazon and it'll start to give you searches based on current searches, high interest searches based on your keywords. Now let me give you another hint. When you do this, you want to make sure and list Kindle books, because on the Amazon bar you can have a choice of searching health products or books in general, but you want to really narrow it down to Kindle books, okay? Because I find the searches tend to be a little bit better that way. So plug in your search term and it'll drop down a whole bunch of suggestions and just start taking notes. And those are some of the keywords that you're going to want to put into the back end of your book, or in the description, or in the book title, or whatever. So first, your keywords, you need to know what you want to rank for, and then plug them into Amazon and see how people are searching, because it'll tell you right on the site. And when I was looking up, how to sell books by the truckload, I found that people were typing in how to sell books on Amazon. I thought, whoa, well, I'm just going to put that in the title and everywhere else on the book. Okay. And when you plug in this search term, things may pop up that are a little surprising to you. So, for example, when I was putting together a list of keywords for one of our genre fiction authors, I found that romance novels, or romance under $1.99, was a really popular search term.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right? So I took and I plugged that into the back end of Amazon. I'm probably not going to use that in the book description. Oh, read this wonderful romance book under $1.99, because that sounds a little forced.
Right.
You want to be careful with that, because Amazon will, they are the 10,000-pound gorilla. They will step in and pull your book if you do something that you shouldn't.
Right.
But you can put it into the back end of Amazon. So some of these keywords are going to be words that you could very easily use in the description or the subtitle or the title of your book, and some of them are going to be very obvious. This needs to go on the back end. And I recommend that you start, if you have, let's say you have 5 keywords that you want to rank for, and you're plugging them into Amazon and you're getting all of these, recent searches, keep track of those, because you can swap out keywords as you feel like they're not, if they're working for you or they're not working for you. If you're trying to get to the first page of a particular search term, you just want to kind of keep track of that.
Okay, cool. So, Penny, what I was thinking about doing so that folks can really kind of follow what you just said, I was gonna show folks the screen, and essentially show them what you're talking about, if that's cool with you. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So let me do that. I'm going to show folks my my screen here, and let's see if I could do that. All right, and yeah, you should be seeing my screen right now. And the first thing you said to do over here is basically go to Amazon, right? And then can you see my screen okay, Penny?
Yep, I can see your screen great.
Excellent. All right, so the next thing you said to do was come over here and change the search, sort of the drop down here, to Kindle Store. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then let's take a book like, or let's take a title maybe like Email Marketing. Or maybe you should maybe be better if you gave me one.
No, Email Marketing is fine, because it started to, if you look at it, it started to pull up some. So yeah, type in marketing. So if you take a look at what you've got here. So email marketing automation, email marketing an hour a day, email marketing guide, email marketing rules, email marketing strategies. These are so what this means is this means that people are plugging in these search terms, and they are they're looking for these books on Amazon. Now I want you to click on one of those, because I want to show you something else.
Okay, which one do you want me to click on?
And just pick any one. It doesn't really matter.
Let's go with Blueprint.
Okay. All right. Now, click on the first one, Email Marketing Blueprint.
Okay.
The current title. Let's just kind of want to. Here's why I'm having you do this. I want you to take a look at the sales rank, because the other piece of this is, so scroll down to be able to see the sales rank of this book. So so 33,000 is okay. They're at the top of the list of mail order, which I hope we get a chance to talk about the categories, because that's probably I would imagine mail order is probably a very narrow category, meaning that there's not a lot of other titles in it. But 33,000 is an okay sales rank. I would actually want to see it a little bit lower, and I'll tell you why. Once you pick your keywords, ideally you want to be in a segment of books, right? So that those keywords pair you with a segment of books that have a very low sales rank. Otherwise, what ends up happening is you pick keywords, and let's say all of the books within that segment have a sales rank of 100,000 or more. Okay, 33,000 is even pushing it. I mean, I would say 33,000 would be great if this were a really niche book, but email marketing is not niche.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to have a fairly low sales rank, because then you know that that keyword segment in particular is popular on Amazon. Okay.
And
So
may I stop you there
yeah,
and just ask, and that is specific for the keyword email marketing blueprint that we're really analyzing here,
yes.
correct?
Right. So right now we're analyzing email marketing blueprint. So, and what we did is we clicked on the first book, and the first book, so it only takes a 33,000 sales rank to get to the top of that keyword. Now, it's good and bad. If you get to the top of that keyword, obviously it means that you're coming up very high in search, and that's great. But because the sales rank is low, it also means that this keyword may not be the most popular one that you can go with. So, you'd be wise to take a look at the other ones and sort of compare sales ranks,
So
right?
like we would go back and then we would just basically look at the next potential keyword,
Yeah, yeah,
which all right. So let me do
yeah,
that quick like a bunny. So we could just see, because this is what you do, and it's essentially in evaluating. Well, should I use this? Should I use this keyword or keyword phrase, or this one, or like the next one is email marketing automation, for example. You see,
right.
right? So we'll click on that and click on the very first book that comes up here, and knowing that the email marketing blueprint was 33,000 in the Kindle store.
Mm-hmm.
This one is,
Probably going to
look
be
at,
higher. Yeah, see, it goes from 33,000 to 289,000. So this may, you may be sitting, so again, two things. You may be sitting in this may not be a terribly popular search on Amazon. What I would recommend that you do is spend a little bit of time with these keywords, find other keywords that are associated with the email marketing title, that may end up being more popular searches. Do you see what I'm
I
saying?
see. Yes,
Yeah.
and how would you do that?
Well, I mean, I think that you would want to, you want to look at your market. You want to look at your market. You want to look at, um, uh, in some cases, you can look at other competing titles. So let's say you and I wrote the same type of book, and I'm like, man, that Daniel Hall is so smart. I want to outsell him on Amazon. So I might go to your book on Amazon, and I might take a look at maybe keywords that are showing up in your book description, because I know you're a savvy guy and you've probably done your keyword research. Or you could also look at the book reviews, and you could see what people are mentioning in the book reviews, and they may not be saying email marketing at all. So if you're pulling up a string of keywords, if you say, gosh, you know what, I know that marketing automation, I know that email marketing are my keywords, but maybe that's not what people are searching on. So that's sort of the flip side of this, is that you want to take a look and make sure that you're not getting into, yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with this title. In fact, I think the publisher sent me a copy of it at the time when it was marketed. So this is 2011, so there's not a lot of books. I mean, let's take a look at the sales rank. So even for an old rich, in internet marketing, 2011 is sort of considered, yeah, 749. Yeah,
Ancient history.
yeah, I mean, right? I mean, 2000, every year online is like dog years. I mean, because everything just changes so changes so quickly. So again, so you may want to really play around with some of these keywords and take a look at, like I said, take a look at the descriptions that, how they're writing their book descriptions, what people are saying in the reviews, and of this particular book,
Mm-hmm.
and see if that can spike a different a different focus for you. The other thing too is that even if you have a book on email marketing, you don't necessarily have to use the term email marketing. So what does your book actually do for the reader? I mean, and we all use, I mean, I know you use email marketing, we use email marketing. What are, direct, like, so Kindle, so if you look into the Kindle store, direct marketing, e-commerce, certainly, right? So maybe there's a lot more under e-commerce. So e-commerce automation or something. So you may want to just kind of push yourself a little bit and dig a little deeper, because as we all know, keywords are tricky, and oftentimes what we think people search on, they're not searching on at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're a little bit too close to this too, right? And here's another thing. I mean, I know I don't want to be jumping around on this necessarily, but the print length, 58 pages, there is nothing wrong with writing short books, but I got to tell you, 50 to 54 pages is really kind of, I mean, to me, that's kind of the cutoff. I mean, you got to be well above that. So 58 pages, and how much was the book priced at?
It was pretty. Let's see. Yeah, it's $4, $3.99.
Yeah. See, I'm not. I can see. I think that there's a little bit of magic to be had on this particular popular topic. Certainly, we all do email marketing. We all want to know how to do it better. But I think that you're playing with fire there. If you have a 54-page book and it's $4.
Right. Okay, cool. So essentially, to summarize what we've covered so far,
Yeah.
is that this is how we're essentially getting the 7 keywords that we talked about initially, right?
Yep.
This is the way, or a way to do that specifically on Amazon, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, specifically on Amazon. Yes.
And then what's the next step? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
So what's the next step then, Penny?
Well, I mean, the next step is finding the category, okay, and finding the right category for your book. So ideally, you want to, now this is a situation where you do want to put this book into a narrow category, because the quicker that you can bounce this book up that particular category, even if there are only 41 other competing titles, the more Amazon will start to pay attention. So you really want to hit top of list. The other thing too is that on your Amazon page, if you're consistently number 1 in whatever that was on that page, mail order marketing or direct marketing, it shows up on your page, number 1, and that's eye candy for the reader. People look at that and they think, ooh, number 1 book, right?
Right.
So, but the categories, so the more narrow that you can get, the better, the better served that you'll be. And I don't know if you have the slides from the handout, but the category link is in there if you want to post it and want to look at it now, or if you want to post it later. The category, so the link to where you can find all of the categories on Amazon.
Yes, I can make that available when we post this.
Sure.
That's yeah. So what Penny's talking about, folks, is she has a basically there is a link on Amazon that has all of the categories in one place, or at least access to all the categories in one place, and it's truly a sight to behold, I got to say. And so let's talk about actually choosing those categories, because to really understand what you just said, and correct me here if I'm wrong, because I'm learning this too, Penny. Really, what you're saying is that when you correctly choose your category, it is easier to rank in that category and hopefully blow the competition in that particular category on that bestseller list, because every category has a bestseller list, right? And you want to get to number 1, so you can have that little ribbon, that little banner that they give you that says number 1 bestseller, right?
Right, exactly. It also triggers the internal Amazon algorithms when you hit bestseller status, right? When you're bestseller within that category. So for example, How to Sell Books by the Truckload on Amazon was, I had it in direct marketing, and then I taught this class a few times, and when I put it in direct marketing initially, there were 27 other titles, believe it or not, right? So it was a drop down from business and internet, and then then came direct marketing somewhere below that. Now there are a lot more titles. I mean, I think now there are well in excess of 200 or 300 titles, because people said, ooh, direct marketing is a narrow category. So you can start with a very narrow category, get to the top of that, switch it out. So when you post that link, users will see that you can go into business and drop down from business. You can go into fiction and it drops you down into this sort of spiral. And you have to kind of keep digging down through the rabbit hole to figure out where you need to be. And just make sure, I mean, this is important. It's great to have a narrow category. Make sure that you are finding a category that's appropriate to your book. So if direct marketing, just as an example, 27 other titles, as tempting as it is, don't put your mystery book in that, because it's not, because Amazon will at some point bounce you out of,
Right. So there has to be some relevance to the book.
There has to be some relevance to the book. The other thing that users should know is that if you have a print book along with your ebook, the categories for print and ebook are different on Amazon. So what you do, this is a little Amazon hack, so what you do is you contact them through Author Central and you email them and just say, hey, I need the categories on my print and my ebook to match. And they'll set it up for you. They'll do it. And it takes literally less than a day. So it's a really, really easy fix. I don't know why the categories don't match, but they don't.
Yeah, I've actually noticed that too. And then let's talk too a little bit, because one of the things that you had mentioned was all the really cool stuff that you could do through Author Central, Penny, including changing your categories, right? You could do that through your Author Central page for all of your titles, right?
Yep.
And what are some of the other things that people may not know that they could actually do through their Author Central account?
Well, through the Author Central account, you can actually check. You have access to BookScan, which is if you have to buy a subscription to BookScan on your own, it's really expensive. So there are, so you can access to BookScan. I'm
sorry. Can you tell folks what that BookScan is?
BookScan
and the relevance of it and the importance of that?
Sure. BookScan is it's a measuring tool, so it measures book sales. Typically, BookScan measures book sales across the board, so Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target, etc. The BookScan access that you have, and everybody in publishing, every publisher, every literary agent has it. The access that you have through Amazon only counts towards the Amazon numbers. But it's really helpful because you can tell where books have sold even by zip code, right? So you can take a look and see, all right, so I know that I did a promotion in Philadelphia. I want to see how many books that promo sold. So you can get access to that on the back end.
Ooh.
The other thing that you can do is you can update, you can update all of your information. So you can update your bio, you can update your book description, you can update, you can add, you can contact reviewers, which is a feature that I particularly like. So if you
whoa, back the bus up here. Run that by folks again, because it's really, really crucial and important what you just said. Did you say, Penny, that you could use your Author Central page to actually reach out and connect with book reviewers?
Yeah, you can reach out.
Do tell.
So you can go into the back end of your Amazon page and click on reviews. When you click on reviews, it'll pop up all of the latest reviews that you've gotten for your books. And then all you do is you go in there and it says add a comment. And you add a comment and you thank the reviewer for their review. And that's all you do. Now the other side of that is that you can also offer the reviewer a review copy of the book if you have a new title out. So go in there, thank them for the review, offer them a review copy as well. And it's a great tool. And a lot of a lot of authors don't know that you have access to that.
Okay, so we're really, really clear on the strategy going on here, because you and I both know, Penny, right, that that book, and particularly good book reviews, sell books, and you want to do your level best to get as many good reviews for your book as possible. So what you're saying is that you can, using this sort of backdoor way, you could actually reach out to people that have positively reviewed your book. You could thank them for that, and when you have a future another title, you can actually go back to them and say, would you like a free copy, of the book to review?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep, that's absolutely what you can do. Yeah.
That makes me all warm and fuzzy. And so here's the other really cool thing that you could do, presumably, is there are some reviewers on Amazon who are they're they have like their reviews carry weight, right?
Yeah.
They're like top reviewers. They
Mhm.
do lots of reviews, and people actually read and respect their reviews. Um, could we do anything with these folks?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think that if you have a set of reviewers, so the top reviewers on Amazon. So let's say, for example, if you go over to, if I'm going onto your book page and I see that you have 10 or 20 reviews from the top 10 or top 50 reviewers on Amazon, I can click on their names, get their contact information, and then pitch them for my book, right? So it's another really great way to get some exposure because those reviewers are top reviewers. They're very picky about what they review, and they do carry a lot of weight. So it's a very important relationship. Just make sure that you're, obviously that you're clicking on a book that's related to yours because you want to make sure that you're not pitching the wrong reviewer because that can start your relationship off on a bad foot.
Okay, so and you could do that. Do you do that on the front end through Amazon itself or through
Yeah.
Author Central?
Yeah, you do it on the front end because what you're doing is you're looking for reviewers, top reviewers who've reviewed other similar books in your market.
Okay,
Yeah.
so and different reviewers, just like everything else, they specialize in maybe one genre
Absolutely.
or another. You
Yeah.
can be like a
Yeah.
mystery reviewer, a romance reviewer.
Right.
You can be business book reviewer, etc.
Right.
That's what you're saying to do is to reach out to these folks.
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to make sure, you want to reach out to them, pitch them for your book, personalize your pitch to them. I mean, we all sort of know the how-tos of really effective pitching, but it's a great way to get in front of them. And they're always interested, just because you've never pitched them before, they're always interested in new and exciting book titles. So by all means, do a little bit of homework on Amazon and pitch them.
Okay, I'm sorry, I kind of went off track a little bit there. We were talking about what you could do within your Author Central account that people may not know exist, and we were just talking about, of course, saying thank you to reviewers and giving them access to
Yeah.
the new books, right? That you have coming out. What else?
Well, I mean, you can add videos. You can add, you can add your videos to that page. You can also add images, but you can also do that at the front end of Amazon. So you can add additional book images to your book, which is, I think, helpful to any book. If you have a nonfiction book, you may want to add just tips, using images. If you have a fiction book, you can add quotes from the book, that kind of a thing. Um, but I will tell you that I would expect Amazon Author Central to grow even more because Amazon bought Goodreads, which is a social networking site for readers and authors, and they're going to be getting rid of Shelfari. And in the past, Shelfari allowed you to go even deeper than Amazon Author Central did. But now they're going to be wrapping up Shelfari and I think folding all of that into Amazon Author Central, as well as if you have a Goodreads account. So keep an eye on Author Central. It's going to really explode even more, I think, over the next 6 to 8 months.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that I saw that you could do with Author Central, right? Is you could like give background on if you're writing a fictional work, you could actually give backgrounds on characters and things like that,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. You can do character quotes. You can do character profiles. You know, intensive backgrounds on characters. So there's a lot that you can do within the Author Central page. And you should also make sure to grab your Author Central pages on the Amazon sites overseas. So in Amazon in France, Amazon in Germany, Amazon in China. Yeah, absolutely. And I actually have, when you post the link for the catalogs, I'll send you the link to our blog, Daniel, because I did some research on how to find those pages and how to get your Amazon Author Central page set up overseas.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
See, I knew you wouldn't disappoint, Penny. I knew it. I'm so happy. Yes, this is a really important point, because as you and I both know, this site, Amazon.com, is like one of the has one of the most traffic sites in the whole world, and you want, as an author, you want as much virtual real estate on Amazon as is possible. And that includes Amazon DE and Amazon JP and Amazon UK and CA and all these other places. And what you're telling me is that you could have additional pages on these sites as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You can grab those, and it could help to spike some of your overseas sales. And look at, with ebooks, you can get them anywhere, anytime. So it's a great little trick. I will send you the link on how your listeners can go through that. Okay,
very cool. Thank you, Penny. I really appreciate that. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to ask you about is, so we've got our keywords. We got our 7, right? We got our 7 keywords, and we went through how to go about sort of determining those and actually maybe changing them out from time to time, and also the fact that those 7 keywords, or at least the top keywords that you've identified, need to not only go in your in the keyword area, but also maybe in your title, in your book description, and anywhere else you could. It makes sense to put it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's all cool. Then we talked about essentially getting into our Author Central account on Amazon and maximizing the tools that are there, and making that sort of blow up for it. So what other cool savvy tricks can we apply to selling more of our books on Amazon? Because I know that you are the absolute diva when it comes to selling books by the truckload on Amazon.
Thank you.
You wrote the book, right? So,
thank you.
So what else can we do, Penny?
Well, I think that you should explore using free as a giving away a book for free on Amazon for a day or for 2 days. I think that's an important element of any promotion, because you really do want to lower the barrier to entry. Right, you want to lower the barrier to entry to get your book. There are 3,500 books published every day in the U.S. That number does not include all the ebooks that are out there. So the numbers are staggeringly high. So free is a really great, free is a great tool. The other tool is that you can buy a URL. So for example, I own the URL sellmorebooksonamazon.com, and that actually points to my Amazon Books page. So I use this URL to help with the keyword searches on Google, because people are not only searching on Amazon, they're searching on Google, which will then send them over to the Amazon page, and you can point, a web address anywhere you want, and you can certainly point it to Amazon. So that's another trick.
Whoa! I love this. So Penny, so we're really clear on this. What sort of URL, what sort of web address should we look to get?
Well,
to redirect.
I think it's your keywords. I mean, I think that you want to look at. So I did sell more books on Amazon.com. So you want to look at whatever your keywords are. So if your keywords end up being, if your keywords end up being email marketing optimization on Amazon, that's what you should, then that's what you should have.
Exactly. Okay, and then of course that works out because there's a greater chance of Google picking it up and then again redirecting that link over.
Yeah, absolutely. So it kind of helps to boost. So it's both catchy, sell more books on Amazon.com, but it also helps to boost the searches from Google back over to Amazon, and that's something that you also want to look at. I mean, look at Amazon is, as you pointed out, the place to get to to buy books. So absolutely, you want to do everything that you can.
Okay, Penny. So here's the other thing. Now we just sort of glossed over this idea of doing the whole free thing, and I'm not just going to let that dog lie, right? Let's, because there's been a lot of talk of late that those free promotions don't work, and what I want to know is, are they really truly worth doing, and if so, how?
Okay, well, I am, a matter of fact, I got a call the other day from somebody who said, I want to do a story about why free is no longer working. And I said, well, if free is no longer working for you, that means that you're doing it wrong. Because free is an access point, right? So let me give you an example of what I did for an author. So we did a book giveaway over the weekend and gave away 61,000 copies of a book in 2 days. 61,000 copies. That's a pretty substantial number, right? Most people would look at that and think, oh my God, that's 61,000 in sales that I missed out on, but that's the wrong way to look at it. So it's just like having a website, right? So you have a website and you're looking at how much traffic are you going to send to that site. So that 61,000 is actually a conversion number, right? So that tells me that the book cover is great. That tells me that the Amazon description's good. The categories are good because it's pushing this up, the sales funnel. The keywords are right on. So that is a high conversion number. That tells me I've done everything right on that book. Now, of that 61,000, so just like people signing up for your newsletter on your website, you get 61,000 new signups. Not all of them are going to become your customer. So you're looking at, what is in the book that's going to incentivize them to contact you. So are you doing a bonus in the book? Are people going to sign up to become part of your reader list? That you have to give them something in the book to bring them back to you. Because if you're just throwing 61,000 copies of a book out there, then yeah, it's a total loss. But if you're actually, just like your website, they're signing up for your newsletter, you're keeping them in your funnel, that's when free really works. So I sort of, I went on to, because I'm a huge fan of free. I think people want to sample. They want to sample, Daniel Hall stuff. They want to see what you're about. They want that, and they don't want these walls up saying, no, you got to pay. And you don't want to give it away forever, but certainly for a day or 2 days, it can make a world of difference. So, now we have, and the other thing is when you hit staggering numbers like that, it also helps to boost your sales on Amazon once the book goes on to paid. So now this book has been in the top, 1,000 in a very competitive category, which is contemporary romance. So it's an extremely competitive category, and it's done really, really well since it's come off of free. So there's a lot of benefits to it.
Cool. That's very, very cool. And here's the other thing, Penny, because what you just said is golden, and it's something I've tried to teach. I've tried to preach for sure. And that is looking at your books as essentially a lead generator. Because if you're doing this right, if you are building a community, if you are building an author's platform, that is really one of the things that you have to be looking to do from day one and all of the time. And that is putting bonuses in your books that essentially allow people, if they resonate with you, if they resonate with your message, to click on a link, maybe within a Kindle book itself, and go to your page and opt in. Yeah. And in another thing, and I want to, because we have quite a few fiction writers as well, and I'll hear fiction writers say, well, this all sounds like it applies to nonfiction really well, but what about us fiction writers? Well, my thought to incentivize the the fiction writer or the fiction reader to come reach out and touch you is have an offer with some backstory to some of the characters in your book. maybe or
Right.
two, something along those lines. Do
Right.
you have any thoughts on that, Penny?
I absolutely agree with that. I mean, you could give readers an opportunity to uh, you can give readers an opportunity to be, to be a character in your book. You can give them access to the next book, and everything that we've been testing, by the way, with the Amazon stuff has been done for fiction, because I know fiction authors struggle with this. So I can tell you right now that, does this stuff work for fiction? Absolutely, it works like gangbusters.
Including the keywords.
Including the keywords. Oh yes, 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 absolutely, yeah.
And it's the same scenario for determining the keywords, right? For the
Right.
fiction. Are there
Right.
any tweaks or anything special we need to know about?
No, it's the same. The same rules apply for fiction as well as for nonfiction.
Okay, cool. So Penny, let me ask you, what questions or what questions should I ask you that maybe I haven't yet asked you?
Well, I mean, I don't. I think we could certainly go a lot longer than we have, because I think the Amazon discussion is, there's a lot, there's a lot to cover. I don't know that we can necessarily do it in this time frame, but I think the most important thing is that authors need to do their research, because Amazon offers a lot to the author that they're not necessarily going to put out there. So it's kind of, I found this by just doing some research and saying, I know Amazon has to have some kind of an algorithm. I know that there has to be a way to trigger it. And that's how I found this. So you don't want to just set it and forget it. You want to do your homework.
And then also keep tweaking it.
Yes, and keep tweaking it.
Okay, cool. All right, so Penny, do you have time for some questions?
I've got to drive to an appointment.
Okay, that's cool. I thought it would.
I would love to normally do questions, but and I'm flying to another event tomorrow, so I'm a little.
Understood. Well, thank you so much, Penny. I really appreciate you taking the time to present today. I know, as always, I learn a lot from you, and
thank you. Same here.
Just beautiful. Thank you, Penny. And if people want to reach out to you, Penny, how could they do that?
You can reach me at penny@amarketingexpert.com. And Daniel, I am really so honored to be on this show with you, because I have great respect for the work that you do and the help that you give to people. So thank you again.
It is entirely my pleasure. Thank you, Penny, and thanks to all of you. And if you're watching this on a rebroadcast, or if you're actually watching it live, when I post it in the members area or in the magazine, wherever it happens to end up, I will make sure that the links we talked about are included somewhere where you're watching this video. So with that, thanks once again, Penny. I really appreciate you, and thanks to all of you. Bye-bye now.
Bye. Thank you.